Hey everyone, I'm currently in the wilderness and I'm going on a safari for a week. You might call that a safari week. What am I looking for, you ask? Well, I'm currently looking for a rare shiny Pokemon, but why in a safari zone? Well, you see, these are the only places where the Pokemon can actually flee from you, and you're not allowed to use your own, so it gives it an extra thrill. Now, in this specific safari zone, you're not actually allowed to catch wild Pokemon. The one specifically told us about it, but I managed to smuggle this ball in. It was given to me by an old man. Pretty sure he stole it from a museum for white herb money or something. Wait, did you hear that? It's a shiny Farfetch'd. Well, let's give it a try. Okay, Broker, benefit. I think I need to go.
Yes, it was this time of the year again, Safariweek, a shiny hunter's Christmas, if Christmas was revolving around winning from lottery tickets. Yes, this year's Safariweek was from the 21st to the 30th of June, and let me tell you, from what I've seen, there were a lot of really rare shinies that either appeared or were caught. I'd go as far as to say that this year's Safariweek had some of the craziest shinies in a while, just from what I had observed. But let me give you a real quick rundown on what Safariweek even is. It's a yearly event that's hosted by Absolblock's Pokémon, where the goal is to find shiny Pokémon in the various Safari zones throughout the week. But why the Safari zone? Well, you see, the Safari zones were always considered a high-risk location for shiny hunting, since you have no way of weakening a Pokemon, so you have to catch them at their full health, as well as the fact that this is the only location where the Pokemon can flee from you. Due to these factors, shiny hunting here becomes much more exciting. Even normally easy Pokemon can pose a challenge, although you could argue that it's just making the already RNG-heavy process of shiny hunting even RNG heavier with the chance of fleeing. But enough of that. I decided to join this year's Safariweek after not being able to hunt last year. My first Safariweek was in 2022, where I found 3 shinies in one day. I failed all of them and then got nothing for the rest of the week. This year was a little different. I decided to go all out this time. I was hunting with 6 consoles and was certain I would find something. I set my games up in such a way that one game always had Farfetch'd, one game always Seviper, and the other for Beldum. And so I began hunting. The first 2 days I found nothing, but this would change on day 3, where I found something really cool. Let's go. First shiny of Safariweek. Shiny Beldum. First shiny of Safariweek. Shiny Beldum. Well, that's gonna be a doozy to see if it stays or not. I'm kinda shaking right now. Whew.
Shiny Beldum, good luck, Crazed Shiny. Good luck on the capture. You really need it with that one. If you catch it, I will flip.
Shiny Beldum, probably the most infamous encounter in the Johtos Safari Zone, aside from Metang. But why? Well, you see, Beldum is the hardest Pokemon to catch in any Safari Zone. That might sound crazy at first, but let me explain it to you. You see, every Pokemon has its own catch rate, and that determines how easy or hard it is to catch a Pokemon. A Pokemon with a catch rate of 255, for example, is really easy to catch, but a Pokemon like a Legendary, which has a catch rate of 3, is really hard to catch. But why is Beldum so hard to catch then? Well, you see, there might be Pokemon in some of the safaris, like Chansey, that have a relatively low catch rate of 30, which is 4.9%. But Beldum tops that easily by being the only regular Pokemon, aside from its evolutions, that has a catch rate of 3. In other words, it's just as hard to catch as a Legendary. And it gets even worse, since the Safari Ball is just as effective as a regular Pokeball for it, giving you the insanely low catch chance of 0.416% per ball. Even the Beast Ball can never be as bad as this, aside from Beldum and Legendaries. It's that bad. And we're still not done. Additionally, to all of this nonsense comes the fact that it has a 35% fleet chance after every turn too. These odds are so stacked against you that I could never recommend someone trying to do this hunt. But if you must, please do Metang instead, since that one only has a 23.92% chance of fleeing, plus a strat that slightly increases the odds in your favor, while Beldum has none of that. But I didn't know any of that at the time. Matter of fact, I went in with so little info that only someone with blissful ignorance would even consider hunting for it, if you weren't ready for facing hell. I knew it would be hard, but I didn't expect it to be this insane. So what's the chance of success then? Around 1.16%. It's basically on the same level as a shiny Safari Zone Chansey or any other ultra rare for that matter. Now, after hearing all of this, what do you think happened to the one that I found? Well, let's find out. First bait. Second bait. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. Two shakes. That's pretty good. No shot! I caught it! I caught it! What? What the frick? No way! I'm shaking!
Bellsprout Jenny? You caught the Beldum? Is this true? Even if this is a fib, I think I owe y'all a flip. I'm gonna do a flip. I'm gonna do a flip. Whoa, I flipped so fast that you could like... I hope the camera caught how fast that flip was. I flipped upside down.
What? No shot. No shot. I'm literally shaking. Regular. Gloom. Shiny Beldum from the Safari Zone, because you can't get it anywhere else in this game. That's insane. Literally the hardest to catch shiny in this game. Wow. And I caught it after 3 balls. That's crazy. I caught it. Quite frankly, I still can't believe it. My luck is very hit or miss sometimes, but when it hits, it really hits. This is without a doubt my craziest shiny ever, and I doubt it's gonna get topped anytime soon. Matter of fact, there's only a handful of caught shiny Beldum that have been documented. I feel really bad for all the people that have been hunting for one for months or even years, just for some guy to randomly get it. That's probabilities for you. But yeah, I specifically want to shout out a Japanese hunter by the name of Kinero Greninja, who has been trying to catch one for 56 phases, or 474,968 random encounters. They've been in phasing hell for who knows how long, and then some guy just comes along and catches it first try. I really hope that they get their own very soon, because quite frankly, they deserve it way more than me. They're definitely one of my gods now. Also, for those of you that know a little more about these types of hunts, or Beldum and Metang specifically, you probably noticed something. The fact that I did the Metang bait strat despite it having no positive effect on Beldum. I assumed it would work since I heard multiple people say something along the lines of, yeah, just throw 6 baits for the Beldum too. But if I interpret this spreadsheet by Professor Rex correctly, you know, the guy who came up with the bait strat, it turns out that throwing 6 baits, even if only very, very slightly, decreases your chance of capture. So that's fun. I did one of the hardest shinies on hard mode. Awesome. According to Professor Rex, bait is functionally useless for Beldum, so if you hear from anyone that it works for Beldum too, ignore them, because you basically only have a 30-something% chance of it even getting to the 6 baits, so at that point you might as well just throw the balls and pray that the 0.4% are in your favor. Also keep in mind that these percentages that are in Professor Rex's spreadsheet already include the free rate of the mon, so yeah. But anyway, talking about the Beldum line. Over the years, from what I've seen, every time someone caught a shiny Metang in the Safari Zone, it was a cause for celebration, since while slightly easier than Beldum, it's still insanely hard to catch, and during this Safari Week, the community managed to not just catch 1, but 2 shiny Metang. One caught by Japanese hunter Haruneko, who took over 422,000 encounters to catch one during the Safari pregame, and another by Noah Kyoga of Pokemon Battle Revolution fame, who was the first person to get all the shiny costumes. Basically, 3 Beldum line Pokemon in this short of a time span has never happened before, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's crazy nonetheless. With one of the hardest to catch shinies ever under my belt, I decided to continue hunting, but over the next few days, despite doing a lot of encounters, no progress has been made. And then, for 2 days, I was out of action, due to an unexpected hospital visit. For those wondering, don't worry, according to the doctors, everything seems to be fine. Once I got back, I went into overdrive, basically not doing a lot of other stuff aside from hunting. The days continued going on, and Safari Week was nearing its end. For the event's last day, I decided to go all out and hunted for 12 hours straight, until the official end in my time zone. However, nothing really came of it. The hours of the day came and went, and then suddenly there was only 15 minutes left until it was over. Now, at that point, I only got the Beldum, and even if 1 shiny for an entire week isn't that great, you still have to consider the absurd rarity of the shiny that I did get, so it didn't really bother me that much. But I was still hoping for a last minute shiny. And then, 10 minutes before the official end of Safari Week, this happened. Finally. Fucking finally. 10 minutes. 10 minutes before the end of Safari Week. That's insane. Honestly, I was giving up hope. On the capture card too. Finally, another shiny. 10 minutes. There you go. 10 minutes before Safari Week is officially over. Ooh, very happy. And I have a chance to reclaim my Survivor that I failed 2 years ago, so that's fun. I hope I get to catch it this time. If not, I'm just glad that it's not just a Beldum this year. And it broke up. And it fled. Pain. Yes. Even if it fled, I still managed to get another shiny for the event. And the fact that it was practically last minute is pretty crazy in my opinion. And just like that, Safari Week had ended. With 2 shinies, 1 win and 1 fail. It certainly wasn't a lot, but I'm still very happy how it turned out. I hope you enjoyed the video. I wasn't entirely sure if I even get to make a video about this Safari Week, but as always, it did deliver. So I'm happy about that. And even happier that I got to talk about my Beldum. But yeah, subscribe for more insane videos in the future, and trust me, some of these projects are big. So there's some pretty interesting stuff to look forward to. Also, check out some of my older videos, they're pretty good. But yeah, see you guys later.